Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Happy Wednesday. All right. Are you the bus factor? My name is Maude Moreno. This is my co-presenter, Anthony Carlson. We're actually both teammates. We both belong to the same team at Farm Credit Services of America. We're an agile software development team. This morning, we are going to be sharing some bus factor concepts that our team has experienced. We're going to be telling some stories about our struggles and some of our successes. I have been in the IT industry for about 17 years, since 1998, and I've been in the business analyst role for about 13 years between the Philippines and here in the US. I consider myself a very happy employee. I like telling stories. I like being able to experience some of the struggles that we're going to talk about today because that's how we learn, and that's why we're here today. Anthony.
All right. My name is Anthony Carlson. I have worked at Farm Credit Services of America since 1999. I started off as an intern, and I actually have never worked anywhere else. I think when I started, I was IT employee like number 34, and now we're somewhere almost the 200 mark. I have seen so many different project methodologies, different formations of teams. I have gone through all sorts of different leadership styles. And so I have wealth of knowledge, but a lot of it's inside Farm Credit Services of America.
Nice. So like I said, we're here to tell stories, but really our hope today is that you guys could maybe have some takeaways from our presentation, go back to your teams, kind of figure out what your kinks are, what your successes are too, and figure out some ways how you can make things better for yourself and for your team.
All right, well, before we start going over our concepts, we're gonna tell you this. Nothing we talk about costs you any money. We're not trying to prove that this software is better than that. We're not trying to sell anything. We're also not nothing that we will talk about actually came down from our senior leadership team, our IT directors, whatever form of leadership you have in your company. And everything we did was learned over time, a lot of steps, because we're not, we think we're a great team, but we're truly not a great team when you want to get up here and do a lot of chest banging about how great we are. We want to tell you about, a lot of times we're going to tell you about where we failed. But these 6 concepts are this. So, shared responsibility and not roles. We actually want to show you how a lot of our team members have taken a lot of humility and actually shown genuine care on our team or how we're made up, so we're not worried about roles.
Out of the office for an extended period of time. How would your workplace look? You see some nods, it's very good. Got you thinking. If you are the bus factor, and you don't have to tell me, you don't have to raise your hand, are you empowered to change that reality like I said? Is it within your power to make that different? Or are you content? I am in God mode. The buck stops with me. This is how I earn my salary increase. The company is going to collapse without me. If I'm gone, who could possibly pick up where you leave off? So think of a project that you're working on right now, some tasks that you have at your desk, and you left over stuff. How would your office, how would your row, how would your area look without you? The bus factor is the number of key developers who would need to be incapacitated to make your project unable to proceed. Now we've seen the bus factor term quantified 2 ways. It's been quantified, for example, if you have 10 members of your team, the bus factor would have to be 10, which means all 10 members of your team have to be incapacitated for your project to collapse. I've also seen some forums saying the bus factor needs to be 0, meaning it doesn't exist. Either way, the bus factor is something you do not want in your team. That's kind of the point today. So, who's all under threat of crossing that street and being hit by that bus? Whose legs are these? Proverbial bus, right? What typically comprises of an agile team, or what typically comprises of an IT team, for those of you who are not part of an agile development team? Think of 1 or 2 people in your team and ask, can these 1 or 2 people know what I know, and can they do what I do? think of one or two people in your team and think, if these people are gone, can I pick up where they leave off? Can I know what they know? And can I do what they do? What are you doing about it? Are you empowered to change something about it? You see some nods, it's very good. Got you thinking, if you are the bus factor, and you don't have to tell me, you don't have to raise your hand, are you empowered to change that reality like I said? Is it within your power to make that different? Or are you content? I am in God mode. The buck stops with me. This is how I earn my salary increase. The company is going to collapse without me. If I'm gone, they are toast, because I know everything, right? If you are not the bus factor, are you content? I don't have to learn anything new. I can make my own little silo, doing my own little thing. I can just be good at what I'm good at, be great at it, and let the big guys carry the big weight. Or maybe you are feeling successful, you're not the bus factor, and it doesn't exist in your team. We all have different stories here.
So, shared responsibility and not roles. Where we used to struggle, and I know a lot of other teams struggle with,
we have a team blog. If you talk about a topic that is not really about project work, let's say it's something just specific to the team, we have quarterly team outings, so we have pictures about that, something cool that we've learned from a training, like Anthony went to San Francisco and he blogged about it, things like that. We came up with a team blogs. As you can see, there's some of the topics. They're meeting notes, they're not really specific to the work that we are doing. We've also decided to build a team wiki. The wiki, our wiki contains all the project stuff, like all the GUI project stuff that we are doing. That's where we upload diagrams, like these stored procedures, details, testing results, all that kind of stuff that we want to reference back 6 months from now or a year from now. We've gotten so good at blogging and wikiing, some of us better than others, that when we do a stand-up and somebody comes up with a topic or something to talk about, one of us always raises our hand like, oh, can you put that in the blog? Or somebody please put that in the wiki. So it's almost like we now have these references that we value in the team, that this sort of becomes our Bible or sort of our gospel to things that we've talked about. That otherwise would be lost in an email or in a phone conversation. We've all been there, right? Sent you an email 2 weeks ago. Which one? I don't know. I'll just forward it to you, and then you look for it, and then it gets lost. It's better to just have the repository of important information. By a show of hands, how many of you guys have tried the Lean Coffee meeting structure? Awesome. I guess I need to explain. So the Lean Coffee meeting structure is something that one of our developers came up with. I would consider the Lean Coffee and sort of an informal meeting structure. So I think once every month or once in 3 weeks, the team gets together, sometimes offsite. We grab a conference room. We're in a circle or in a table. Each one of us gets 5 sheets of Post-its. We are encouraged to write down a topic per Post-it that we want to talk about. It can be any topic you want. One of my favorites was Anthony's topic. Homemade weed killer. Killer. When the FIFA World Cup was on, we talked about the FIFA World Cup. When tennis was on, we did that. So we wrote a topic for each of the Post-its, and then each of us would put our topics in the middle. These are the 5 things I want to talk about. Each person gets up, and then if there are similar topics, we group them together. Either way, imagine all 10 of us standing up already, voicing our 3 to 5 topics we want to talk about. Then we categorize them. To discuss, which is kind of like the backlog. Discussing, which is the present work, that's the present topic that's being talked about. And discussed. Now, here's what happens. All the stuff that's in the middle, we get a pen, and we're encouraged to write a dot on a Post-it of the topic that we want to talk about. You can put 2 dots in one Post-it. If you really are passionate about homemade weed killer, then you put the 2 dots in that Post-it. Or you can put a dot for one Post-it, and you only get 2 chances. So as you can see here, we see topics with multiple dots, like 5. Huge dots in that one. I think it's, what is it, Thanksgiving something, telemarketing, whatever. So then, the topic that gets the most number of dots gets moved on, and then we talk about those first. You see this pile on the right, they don't get dots, because these are the topics that people were not really passionate about. We group them together, there's another time to talk about them, and we're going to talk about these things right here. So in the Lean Coffee conversation, we've decided as a team to over-communicate things that's going on with our lives, things that's going on with the project. We even talk about stuff like, oh, let's talk about teleworking. Let's talk about why our build service sucks. Let's talk about these things that are uncomfortable otherwise to talk maybe with the business owner, and as a team, we just kind of powwow about it. So it's a good kind of informal meeting structure that the team has regarded as a formal meeting schedule.
So why does this eliminate the bus factor?